Welcome to Podcast of All Podcasts. Enjoy best moments of podcast history.
Please donate if you can. Enjoy. Tom Petty, Running Down a Dream.
It was a beautiful day, the sun beat down, I had the radio on, I was driving, trees went by, me and Del were singing, a little runaway, I was flying, yeah, running down a dream, that never would come to me, working on a mystery, going wherever it leads, running down a dream. I felt so good, like anything was possible. Hit cruise control and rub my eyes. The last 3 days, and the rain was unstoppable. It was always cold, no sunshine. Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads. Running down a dream. I rolled on, the sky grew dark. I put the pedal down to make some time. There's something good waiting down this road. I'm picking up whatever's mine. I'm running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads. Running down a dream. Yeah, I'm running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads. I'm running down a dream.
Hey, Joe Coy. Enjoy.
So we pulled some microphones out, and here we are.
Here we are, man.
That's the cool thing about the pod, man. The pod literally, I think, blew up with the Corolla. I don't know. I don't know the history of podcasts, but I will say that Adam put it on the map for me.
Pioneer for sure.
Pioneer for sure. You know, and you know, he left, you know, syndicated radio. He was already a fixture. He was already, you know, he was already a huge name. And then I don't know if he got fired or he quit, but then he was like, man, I'm gonna make a radio station in my garage.
You think that was the thought? It's like I'm just gonna I'm into broadcasting. This is what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna make radio.
Yeah.
From home.
Yeah, he was. I think what sold him was, why am I so nervous? Or not nervous. Why am I walking on eggshells when I say something? And he's not walking on eggshells. He says it. And then he has to defend it all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas if I own it, I can say whatever the fuck I want.
Sure.
It's my garage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I pee right there.
Yeah.
And then I sit here and I talk.
Yeah. I wonder, and I don't know if you know this, the insight that at one point, I mean, at some point it would be, you know, profitable and huge for him.
I don't think he ever, I knew he would make money. I think in his head, like I said, I've never asked him and I need to because I love to get in his head. But in my head, because like, and here's the thing, everyone knows how to make money off of podcasting now.
Now.
You can buy a book that teaches you how to start a podcast now.
Right.
You got to go back when there weren't any podcasts. And if there were, it was like you didn't know who was doing it. It was probably some AM radio guy that was like, hey, you know, I can do this on my iPod.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or whatever it is. I don't know
Right.
the history. All I know is for Adam to go and leave, I think in his head, it's kind of like when you rent a theater yourself and go, well, if I sell these many tickets, I can make all the money. It's kind of like when Prince, you know, left Sony.
Right.
And was like, I'll just stream my music.
Stream it, yeah.
I won't sell that many, but I'll get 100% of the sales.
Right. Yeah.
I think Adam knew he had a built-in fan base, and if he could just tell them,
If he could reach them.
if I can reach them somehow, because I don't even think people really knew how to email and advertise online yet. Still, I think that was still kind of a new thing. And yeah, I think that's what it was. I think he really believed in his fans coming over to join him.
Yeah. It's amazing foresight, man.
It is. But you know why? I hate to interrupt you. You know why it's an amazing foresight? Because when Stern made the move, it was Sirius. Is that how you say it? Sirius.
Sirius Radio. Sirius.
Sirius was like new, brand new, and they were investing in everybody. You know what I mean? It was like the XFL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Herschel, come over here and play for us.
Right.
We'll give you $100 million plus a percentage of the team. Right.
Right.
And that's what Sirius was doing. I think I don't know how much the money was. Let's just say $200 million. I don't know how much it was, but it was enough for a radio station to lose one of the most biggest star. I mean, the only star.
He was the biggest star in the biggest market at the time.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
And the market, by the way, was nationwide.
Yeah.
It wasn't the whole country.
Right.
And they were like, yeah, here. And so it was easy for him to make that move.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas Adam didn't have that.
Right.
Adam was on a huge radio station that was syndicated, but no one was like tempting him to come over.
Yeah.
No one was dangling $100 million to Adam. Adam was like, I can make $100 million if I, if I try my hardest. If I can just tell people that I'm in my garage now and I can curse without hitting the delay button.
Right.
I'm good. And so, like, to me, I think that's amazing.
It is.
That's amazing to invest in yourself like that and just be, like, full risk, bro.
Yeah.
Because if it would have failed, it would have been the end of his career.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that gone on their own, and you don't see them anymore.
Right. Yeah.
It's
a risk, man.
It is a huge risk.
To step out on your own without an employer.
Yes.
Without a guaranteed check.
Yes.
It's not fun.
It sucks.
Yeah.
You remember when you got fired? I never really got fired. I've always had the option. Like, I was a horrible employee when it came to restaurants.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I think I've told you this one, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like they fired me. It was kind of like, it's kind of like just work Wednesday only. And it kind of just makes you want to quit.
They just decrease your hours until.
Yeah, it's like, come on Wednesday at 1 and clock out at 2:15.
Could you just come in for 30 minutes on
30
Thursday?
minutes, Joe. Say hi, leave. We'll give you $6. And then I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do with $6? That's all we got, Joe.
Yeah. It's not our problem.
And that's how I always got fired like nicely like that. Never went, Joe, get out of here. It was always like, hey, Joe, we don't need you this week. The whole the whole patting on the desk, drum thing.
roll.
Like it's a little drum roll. Hey, Joe, we don't need you this week. Well, how about next week? Tell you what, how about Wednesday, 3 weeks from tomorrow? What the fuck is that? I'm going to forget that I even have to come in.
Right. Yeah.
You'll remember.
Yeah.
Man.
So I had a job where I was had to be at work at like 7 a.m, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
But on Sundays, there was a club that I like to go to on Sunday nights. And then there was an after hours that I'd like to go to as well.
Jesus Christ, Andre.
And
this is back in your 20s?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I know it's tough. And
That's a rough dude right there.
That's a rough time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it shows now.
thank you. In my wisdom, I'm imagining you mean in my wisdom.
Hey, man, in your eyes, bro. In your eyes. There's a lot of late night Sundays in your eyes right now, bro. You remember when you said, I'll be all right?
Yeah.
You ain't all right.
No more. It came back.
It came back so fast.
That's funny.
Fuck.
So listen.
49 came back fast. 49 will remind you about 23.
Yeah.
So fast.
Yeah, that pain, that unexplainable pain you have in your spleen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I had a spleen.
Yeah, that's from year 23.
Oh, fuck 23 and fuck Jameson. All right, go for it. What were you saying? What happened?
So I missed a Sunday.
Uh-huh. Wait, you missed a Sunday? You went out on Sunday.
I missed a Monday.
Yeah, you missed a Monday.
And Tuesday was payday.
Oh.
But this is before direct deposit. So
you had to go in and get it.
I had to go get my check. So I walk in. I'm like,
this isn't good.
I'm like, hey, man, here to pick up my check, you know?
Yeah.
And then he goes, he does one of these, the follow me finger? Like, come on back here.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, there was no like.
That's where the sweat starts to beat up on your back. Yeah. And now as you're walking, you're thinking of other potential places to work.
But why when they get ready for this, their preparation, they sit at their desk. They have to go around their desk and sit. Why do you have to sit?
Why do you have to sit, dude?
What are you trying to prove?
Yeah.
Is the desk are you trying to make me feel inferior because of the desk? The desk.
No one even likes your desk.
Yeah.
You don't even like your desk.
Fire me.
Fire me, dude.
Standing.
Why didn't you have my check
like
folded?
A man.
Fold my check in your back pocket, and when I walk in, just hand it to me. Yeah. Go, hey, man, can you leave?
Yeah.
We don't need to have a final chat. You know what it is, too? They bring you all the way to the back, so you have that walk of shame out.
Yeah.
Because as you're walking to the back, every employee's looking at you. Dude on fries, right? The dude chopping lettuce.
Yeah.
The guy washing the pans. Yeah. They're like, yo, bye, bro.
Yeah. They know you're getting no more of that.
You still smell like Sunday.
And why do you always tap the check on your hand on the way out? Like,
oh, yeah.
You're tapping the check.
You tap it.
Because you know it's the last you're getting.
Yeah. Ooh.
Because job searches are not easy, bro.
Yeah. Like job searches are the worst. Oh, my God. Can I tell you my job searches here in LA when I first moved to LA in 2002? You want to know where I went? And they said no.
Where?
You want to know where?
I do.
Foot Locker.
No? At Foot Locker?
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I have experience.
With shoes?
Yeah.
I wear shoes.
I wear them. I know all about them.
Yeah.
Ask me a question. Ask me what the sole's made out of.
What's that sole made out of?
Right here on my Huaraches?
Yeah. What is
just in case if people aren't watching it and you're just listening, I'm pointing at my all-white Huaraches with a fluorescent, like I call that highlighter yellow.
That's a perfect name for them.
Right? Highlighter yellow and,
Chris Hardwick with Tom Lennon. Great.
But that's my way of testing people out to see, like, are we going to be friends? Because I did the same thing with Clint Eastwood on that weird Clint Eastwood movie that was so strange, 1517 to Paris.
Okay.
Clint Eastwood comes in and he's getting up there. He's still got weights and barbells outside his trailer.
Sure.
Yeah, just for getting jacked. And the barbells, just are kind of from like the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like the kind of barbells where you can slide. They're like square weights, and you can slide them to be different amounts of weight.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, Clint outside his tour bus, which is kind of an old tour bus for his trailer, he's got barbells that if you found them on eBay would be best offer and shipping. So I'm sitting there with Clint Eastwood, and I'm like sitting in the scene. You know, it's like it's Jenna Fisher's in it, and Judy Greer, two funny folks. There's a lot of funny people in that movie, which is
That's
weird.
fantastic. Yeah,
I know.
great.
And I'm like, maybe because Judy and Jenna were there, but I was like, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to try something with Clint. Let's just see how this goes. So I'm sitting behind the desk playing the principal. And I said, Clint Eastwood. And I haven't really said anything to him yet. He said, like, hey, hello. Hey, yeah, that's that guy. That's from the audition. Yeah, or something he always says. And I said, hey, Clint, I don't want to overthink this, but is there any chance that my character would have a large digital raven on his shoulder, perched on his shoulder for this whole scene? And Clint Eastwood just went, I like it. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, even Dirty Harry. I mean, you just got to test and see, like, how weird are people?
Yeah, I know, but I think maybe you have a very natural comedy energy, and I feel like if I did that, it would read more like I was trying to get attention. Then
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I am trying to get attention too, and I am just scared. You know what it is? It's my way of, I'm scared. All comedy is this, don't you think? I come into a situation, I am frightened of everything, as I think most people are all the time. I certainly am all the time. I've got a meeting with Arnold Schwarzenegger on Zoom later today, and I'm going to make a joke. Me? No, of course. No, you know how I roll. But I'm going to make a joke to get over how scared I am all the time. And that's what we're doing everywhere we go, isn't it? That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, you should say I loved you in Judge Dredd. Just see how that flies. Just see how it flies. You know, actually, he was on the podcast a handful of years ago, and he was delightful.
He's a fascinating cat, man. Yeah.
Just
imagine. Can you imagine being that guy? Yeah. Can you imagine? I mean, a lot of ups and downs and stuff, but like, can you imagine like doing everything you ever set out to do? Pretty much, it's crazy.
Well, but that is an interesting kind of a philosophical.
I've been to your house. You did that.
Well, no, I mean it's an interesting philosophical conundrum because because it for the people who can deal with it, it really shows like, you know, what was the ratio of them chasing something because they thought it was going to fix them versus people doing things because they enjoy doing them. And the people who really tend to enjoy the process tend to fare better. And the people who feel like, you know, each one of those goals were going to somehow make them whole and then realize, well, that's not really how things work.
Well, that's not really how it works.
They can be very bitter and upset. Yeah. Schwarzenegger was fucking great on the podcast and super open to talk about whatever.
Oh, you know what? It was you who told me because you had talked to him and I was going to Salzburg. And you were like, hey, I have Arnold's recommendations of the best Salzburg restaurants, which was the Goldner Hirsch, that restaurant in Salzburg at the Goldner Hirsch Hotel.
Oh, that's right. I did remember the recommendation from him.
And I remember thinking, man, my life is like, I never think my life is cool based off of major events.
Right.
You know, like when the book came out and did well, wrote a book, made the New York Times bestseller list, I felt legitimately nothing ever. Mm-hmm. I had no feelings. But then when I was eating at a restaurant in Salzburg and I was like, this was a recommendation from Chris Hardwick directly from Schwarzenegger. I was like, hey man, life is cool.
This is weird. Life is like, weird.
So like a good restaurant recommendation meant a little bit more to me than, Well,
also just the fact that you sort of casually tossed off, oh yeah, I was in Dark Knight Rises and Memento. I mean, you know, like like those are cultural touchstones and those are other people's thing. Let's not forget that Lieutenant Dangle is also a cultural touchstone for people. Like you've not just been in other people's touchstones. You are a touchstone. You have created a touchstone for people and the state too.
This is a weird one because I'd never really been on Redbubble. There's a website called Redbubble.
Yeah, it's all the t-shirts,
exactly. And somebody had said there's like a great like New Boot Goofin t-shirt on Redbubble of Lieutenant Dangle. So I went and looked and I was like, no, there's like 20.
Oh yeah.
So I ordered a couple. I'm not sure if I can wear them. Feels a little weird. But one's a cartoon of me. It's not really me. It's like a cartoon of me that says, like genuine ostrich 3 payments. And I was like, I think I could wear that, right? Or is that a weird thing? I don't know.
It depends on what you wear it to.
Yeah.
It's all context. Somewhere in a box, I have all my crew jackets from Singled Out, which I've never worn.
God.
And I'm starting to think
you've gotta.
Funny.
Gotta.
Or it'd be weird.
You gotta.
Could be weird.
It's at the right event. At the right event, it's hilarious. I've never worn it. We have a place in Wisconsin. That's where we're living for a while. We actually have a place right down the road from where Dungeons and Dragons was invented, Mr. Nerd.
Oh my gosh.
Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Yep. But I have a bunch of show jackets too. Like Damon Wayans got us all made for season 1 of Lethal Weapon. These giant high school leather jackets that are made out of like 9 kinds of leather with huge patches. And it's like heavy. It's like armor.
Yeah.
And it also, my favorite thing about it, it says like Lethal Weapon season 1. And then on the front, it has my name. It says Thomas. And I was like, where in the world can I go wearing a Lethal Weapon fancy crew jacket that has my own name on the front? I'm like, that's a baller move. It really says like
walking down Larchmont going into a pizzeria. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's me, Thomas. You remember Thomas?
But
Leo Getz from
I don't know you, so you're a Thomas.
The TV version of Leo Getz.
I feel like it'd be fun to wear. Like, I would totally love to wear like a Major Dad crew jacket. Like, I want to find.
Well, what's the weirdest one you got? Because in our house, you know that Jenny was in Bull Durham, right?
Oh, did I know that? I'm not sure if I knew that.
Jenny's Millie in Bull Durham.
Oh
Jenny,
my God, that's crazy. So she has like Bull Durham swag?
Oh my God, she's got all the Bull Durham baseball cards, which is pretty cool, of all the characters. One of which is Danny Gans, the magician.
My gosh.
Do you remember that one of the young baseball players in Bull Durham is Danny Gans, the late?
That I did not remember because I didn't know who Danny Gans was when I saw that movie.
But I think in the house, you've got some pretty neat stuff in the house. In the house, I think one of the neatest things we have is she has 2 like original Bull Durham jackets.
That's
from that movie, that are pretty neat.
That's pretty great. I mean, and also she has a connection to it. For me, it would just be like, I'm a dopey fan of this thing, or I don't know.
Man, if you ever don't want to wear that Singled Out jacket, I will take it off of your hands.
It's funny because each season was a different tour of '90s fashion. So number one, they're all
wait. Can I guess first season? Is it like a slightly whitewashed denim with a patch on the outside?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
It might be.
Or is it actual like parachute material, like that kind of stuff?
There is one that is. There was one that was like bright white, and I think that might have been season 2 or 3.
Satin. So that would be like
a gas station one because it was the 90s.
Sure. There's one that's like, was there? I bet there was a bowling shirt. Everybody was always like, let's do a bowling shirt. Yeah.
There might have been. Yeah, there might have been.
A couple things we did on the state. Somewhere. I was really proud. We always did state gifts. One year on the state, and I still have it. Oh, I should announce this, by the way. The state did this giant benefit this year. And we gave some money to like Black Lives Matter and some cool venues and stuff. And I auctioned off the porcupine suit from Porcupine Racetrack. But wait. I just wanted to announce this. The mofo who bought it for $6,000 never paid for it. So I have it back. So at some point I'm going to auction off again for some awesome charity the actual porcupine outfit.
That is fantastic.
One of my favorite things we did state very early on, we always gave weird gifts for state. Like one year we gave everybody a second place trophy, baseball trophy.
Yeah.
But I think first year on the state, we gave everybody an autographed. We went and got like 300 copies of Dianetics.
Yes.
At the Scientology Celebrity Center in Times Square. And they gave us a discount because we were a TV show. I was like, hey, we're a TV show. Will you give us some off? They're like, absolutely, we will. They were so nice. So we autographed and gave out, to like all the Teamsters in New York, just like 300 autographed copies of Dianetics. And I remember thinking, we're so funny. We're just the best. And I know all these people were like, wow, this is one of those times where like a hoodie would have been nice, you assholes, instead of
hey, thanks.
A gag gift that's only funny to you, you drug-addled 22-year-old.
You know what I would have wanted from the state is I'm sure no one has anymore, but it was the the Snuggle fabric softener.
The bear.
Which it starts talking, and then Carrie just like flips out and just starts beating it
out of it
with an iron.
The Cuddly Soft.
Yes.
That was a great one. I think we actually got somebody accidentally. Sometimes people.
Ryan Sickler and Jay Larson with Josh Wolf.
It's 8 minutes
It's
long.
an 8 minute. It's an 8 minute special, but I go in and out of the story a little bit, so it's a shorter story, but just stretched out.
Yeah.
But it's basically the idea of the whole special is, because this happened to me, is that every man at some point in time, they hit an age where they look at their dad that very first time and they think to themselves, I could beat the shit out of this guy. Right?
I was there.
Now, whether you do it or not is one thing. But you'll look at him like, oh, tell me to take out the trash again. Tell me to take out the fucking trash again. And so the story is about my son and I hitting that spot. And the 2-week time period it took for us to finally get out into the front yard and wrestle. And, talking to my dad about...
When you say wrestle, like, do you guys have a ring out there?
No, it was the white trashiest thing you have ever fucking seen in your life.
In the front yard.
Yo, sure. He came out. So finally, when he got so mad...
Where are you from originally?
Massachusetts.
From Massachusetts. Weighing in at 175.
Why the wind?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Wolf.
Yeah. Boy.
Wait, what town again, Mass?
Amherst.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like Western, like Western.
Emerson. I love it out there, dude.
Oh, it was so great to grow up in Amherst.
Oh,
it was so great to grow up in Amherst. UMass.
I always forget you're Massachusetts. In my mind, you're always Seattle to me, and I know that's unfair, but I know it's also you spent a lot of time there. But yeah, you're.
Well, I started doing stand up.
That's what it is. That's what I connect all the time. I know. That.
Yeah, because you're not connecting with the Red Sox and the Patriots.
No,
not quite as much.
No.
Well, not everybody can.
So you went out to the front yard.
Oh, we went out.
Your son.
So what happened?
How old was he?
So I guess he was
17.
He was like 15.
Yeah,
and
that's where I was.
So had been. He had challenged me to the fight.
He challenged you?
Okay, this is what happened.
Did he text you?
No, this is what happened. Ready? So I was walking into the kitchen, and he was walking out, and he kind of leaned his shoulder into me, and it kind of knocked me off balance a little bit, and I laughed. I was like, did you just lean your shoulder into me? And he said, maybe you should watch where you're going. And I said, are you picking a fight with me? He goes, I'm not, but not that it would be much of a fight. And I said to him, I go, okay, man, let's go in the front yard right now. And he says, no, not right now, like 2 weeks. I'm like, 2 weeks?
You're going to train?
Yeah.
He is.
He said, I got to look up some videos online. I said,
how to beat your dad. Yeah. How to beat up your dad. Oh, God.
So the story is over those 2 weeks and me not wanting him to have a full 2 weeks. So I put a little mental torture in there to get him so mad to where he couldn't fight. And so the story is that, and talking to my dad and remembering my brothers and I, we all.
Your dad's still alive?
My dad's still alive.
How many brothers do you have?
I got 3 older brothers.
So he had to fight 4 times?
All
4 of it. Okay. Jesus Christ, they're jumping him in.
I'll tell you what happened. So I think what my dad did is he made an example out of my oldest brother. Do you know what I mean? Just to do it real quick and violent.
You see this fucking neck brace? That's going to be the last time anybody jumps on my back.
You ready for this? My brother comes up into the room. The 3 of us are playing in my room. And my brother comes up to my oldest brother comes in the room. And I'm maybe 6. So there's like 6, 8. Maybe I'm a little older, maybe 8. But he comes up in the room and he goes, I'm fighting Dad today. And we were all
he was how old?
He was probably 14.
I'm fighting Dad today.
So we were all like, what? You're fighting Dad? He was like, that's right. Who's got my back? And we were all yo. So we were all like, I didn't know if there might have been a regime change, dude.
Look, I'm supporting Dad. But this is a great idea.
I'm not supporting Dad in front of my oldest brother, where my dad was outside.
Okay, outside, just like,
he was the original.
The OG. Hang on a second. Let me get over here in front of this full moon.
Dad said he only fight me at midnight.
in the backyard.
That's my bedtime. I don't know what to say to him.
Somebody get my yellow contacts, God damn it.
So he comes in the room. He's like, "Fun, Dad, you guys got my back." And we were like, "Yeah, we got your back."
So he just breaks the news to you. You have no idea shit was boiling up like that.
We were like, "We got your back." And he's like, "You ready?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he starts pumping us up. He's like, "There's going to be some new rules after today." And we were all like, "New rules." He was jacking us up.
But did he have the rules he was going in with? Like, was there a plan? Like once he beat Dad, once he beat Dad, what were the new rules?
Well, I didn't get into the particulars of the new rules. I just assumed the rules that he wanted were more in tune with the ones that I wanted. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So he's like, "There's going to be some new rules starting to get tomorrow." And we were like, "Yeah, new rules. And he was getting us fucking worked up. He was like, "We're going to go downstairs. We're going to tell him we're in charge now." We're like, "We're in charge, right?" This Lord of the Flies up in this fucking. So we start walking downstairs. You guys got my back? Yeah, we got your back. We got your back. And we get outside. My dad's outside, and he's smoking a cigar. And he's on the patio. And my brother walks out, and he goes, "We're fighting today, old man." And my dad goes, "Okay."
Who?
And he goes, "Okay." And he stands up, and my brother said, "And let me tell you something." And before my brother could say another word, my dad kicked him in the nuts harder. Harder than I've ever seen anyone get kicked in the nuts. Yeah. Right? And so...
Because let me tell you something. I'll tell you what. And his brother said,
Look, here's what I learned looking back at it. First of all, I knew my dad wasn't worried. You know why? Because he never took the cigar out of his mouth. Do you know what I mean?
So talking around it.
First of all, that kind of tells you
the dirtiest fighter I've ever heard of in my life.
But you know what? I never challenged him to a fight because I was like, that seems like not a guy
Let
that
me tell
I
you
should be
something.
fucking around.
You step to a man like that when
In
you
his
think
house?
you're a man in his own home, a foot to the nuts, and let me tell you why it's a smart move. Actually,
You're setting an example.
You're establishing a record that shit like that's what's going to happen if you want.
Yes.
But all that machismo and all that fucking swagger comes from your ball bag. It's all testosterone, and he just went in there and put the shutdown on that button. That's exactly what he did. He's like, I'm gonna make you think about that ball bag again. That's right. You don't punch him in the mouth. You shut it down at the. Let me shut this off at the source.
That's why, to this day, I think one of the funniest and greatest things I've ever seen was in one of the Jackass movies. They were in Colorado, and they made a ice snow cone with pee.
Yeah.
And the guy who ate it, when he was eating it, they went up and kicked him in the balls. And I was like, that is genius.
Yeah,
it's genius.
Yeah, because
Did your dad laugh?
No. He basically, he stood there, and he looked at us basically like, I mean.
Anybody else?
Yeah, is anybody else
That's
ready
an
for
exclamation point right
Yeah,
there.
no. Now, my other brother stepped in.
What?
A couple years later, the one younger, he gets something even worse. And
What'd he do?
Well, my dad. He was like, He told my dad,
he's a
we're
year
gonna,
older.
He was like,
We're
fighting. We're fighting. He was actually 3 years older, so he was 3 years older.
He tells your dad. He announced it too.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, we're fighting," and my dad goes, "When?" My brother goes, "Today." And my dad goes,
"You don't
okay.
need 2 weeks."
He goes, "Okay, but you got to do your chores first." So
Talk about fucking.
I just got to say something too. By the way, your brother asked for 2 weeks, and your dad taught him another lesson.
My son asked for 2 weeks.
Oh, your son asked.
My
for
son
2
asked
weeks.
for 2
I'm
weeks.
sorry.
My son asked for
Okay,
2
but your father also taught your brother a lesson. Like it doesn't matter how hard you work or how big you are, you can just be shut down with one good swift kick to the ball.
And what he also
his own son.
what he was also establishing by setting us up, like by setting my brother up to do the chores first, which is you may be, and this is what I did with my son. I got him so mad. I knew he was faster than me, stronger than me, more stamina, but I'm smarter than him. So I needed to get him so worked up that he couldn't fight. And my dad knew that we were all getting faster and stronger than him. but he just was smarter than us. So he kept putting us in positions to lose. So when my brother challenged him to a fight, one of his jobs was cleaning the gutters. And my dad was, he got about midway down that ladder. And my dad was like, "You done with all your chores?" My brother was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You ready to fight?" And my brother goes, "Yeah." My dad just goes, poof, to the ladder.
And push the ladder over?
Ooh, sideways, too.
And what did he do? Jump off?
He had to jump off. Yeah. But we just constantly learn. Oh, yeah, this dude is he's playing chess, and we're playing checkers.
Yeah.
He because he's what 5'10", maybe 5'9", but he was just at some point when it got to me, I was just like, I'm not trying anything.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to get kicked in the nuts or pushed off a ladder or any of the fucking shit. Because my brother's already tortured me enough. I had 3 older brothers. My oldest brother used to put me in, those fold-out couches?
The futons?
The couch beds.
Oh, yeah.
Adam Ray with Alonzo Bodden.
Talking about Chappelle and you being like, I don't know how he comes up with the things. That's how I view you. So, and I think that's a common shared viewpoint on most of comedians. Like,
I appreciate it.
And in rewatching your special last night, light heavyweight.
Yeah, heavy lightweight.
Heavy lightweight. So fucking good, dude. But
no, thank you.
Who are you again?
Thank you.
Yeah, but you've always been this way before I even got to know you through Brad, and it was like such a geek out moment because like, all you want to do is get to a point to where you feel like you have a point of view that is like fresh and where you're looking through a set of goggles that is hopefully, always looking at things a little differently, and whether you're the most prolific person, your take on things is always stuff like you said with Chappelle that people go, "Oh, I didn't think of that, but I agree with that, or I can get on board with that." And you've always been that way. And I'm like, you strike me as someone that's just like from the get-go been like, yeah, I know who Alonzo Bodden is, so it's easy to talk about it.
I don't know that I knew who I was, but I had an opinion.
Okay.
I always had an opinion. And what happened was the topical stuff and all the news stuff came mainly as a result of Last Comic, right? Because when I went into Last Comic, I did more personal stuff. But for one thing, you had to just come up with tons of material. So I just started doing more on my topical and this and that. And then, I just find the stuff outside of me funnier than my life, right? So I mean, that was a time when we were dealing with Bush and the Iraq War and Paris Hilton and just all kind of it was just a ton. It was a ton of material. Schwarzenegger was governor, and so it was just like, oh man, let me just start talking, know, and as far as how comics think, because this came up recently talking about parallel thought. Early on, when I used to talk more about like relationships and family and this and that, I bumped into Chris Rock a few times as far as parallel thought. Like I'd have a joke and then I'd hear him do something and I'd be like, gosh. But then I was like, damn, I'm thinking like I'm on the right track. Like if I had the same idea as Chris Rock, then I'm doing something right.
Right. You wouldn't go out of your way to then like put the kibosh on the bit, because I know some people do that where they'll be like,
no, I stopped doing it.
Oh, you
No, if I hear, because this is why, because someone in the audience will have seen him do it. And, oh, man, you stole that shit. You know what I mean? Like, the audiences don't know anything about parallel thought. So, as a matter of fact, I had that happen. And this was a simple joke. It was back 9/11 and all that, right? So, we were talking, I said, you got to take off your shoes because of the shoe bomber. I'm like, where's the bra bomber at? Right? Just, a joke.
Yeah.
So, I think it was, I don't want to say Kevin Nealon, but it was somebody like that, someone at that level. Their manager contacted my manager and said that I stole the joke. And my manager was like, where would he have seen him do it? You know what I mean? Like we're in such complete different worlds. They were like, where do you think he saw that he would steal it? It's like, no, man, that's an idea I'm sure 100 comics came up with. That's like the Mexicans building the wall, right? And the first thing every comic said, well, who's going to build it? Of course, it was just a common thought with comics. So,
Did it happen when you were like what you grew up where again? Queens, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Queens.
Did you was there something about the culture or I always feel like everyone's like a product of their environment more or less. So it's like, were there funny people in your family?
Oh man, my mom.
Yeah.
My mom was hilarious. She passed away last year, and thank you. And musicians always do a song, right? So I started thinking, like, what did my mom do? Like, what joke did my mom do that I could put in the act?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like
to pay tribute.
My tribute to my mom's. And this is absolutely true. This happened. So she's from South Carolina, small town in South Carolina, right? And we're at a funeral. And if you've ever been to a Southern black funeral, you know it's a production. There's a lot of drama and this and that. It's fun to watch. I mean, there's a ton to, right before they bury him, and you always hear, "Oh Lord, it's too soon. Take me, Lord, take me." My mother just leaned over to me. She said, "They yelling, take me, but they ain't jumping in that hole, are they?" And man, Adam, I cracked up, and I'm literally laughing at a funeral. But yeah, that was my mother. My mom was like just common sense, quick, funny shit. Like, "Mom, who you voting for?" Shit, no matter who wins, I got to go to work tomorrow.
Wow.
Little shit like that.
But great timing and delivery. Like,
great timing and just her take. It was her take. My mom had takes on everything. I said, "Women's lib." She said, "Women's lib." "White women's lib." She said, "Black women fighting to not work." When you see a black woman fighting to get a job, we fighting to stay home.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, she was hilarious, man. So
and you remember that from like an early age?
Yeah, all my life. She would she just be in the kitchen and you just start talking. And the other thing is, we were news junkies. We had growing up, there were two newspapers in New York. There was a morning paper and an afternoon paper, and we got both of them. And we would just read the newspaper. So there was a lot of talk about that, about
you were
what's
always up
in
to
the
date
news,
on current events, and just
just
and having,
habit.
And then it would be an open forum to kind of discuss. And then you couldn't help because your family was just thinking in terms of making a joke at some point after.
I don't know that she thought about it. It was just her observation.
Yeah.
She just, my mom, in her own way, called bullshit on a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she's from a generation that they wouldn't say this is bullshit, but she would make her comment and you'd be like, "Oh, this is bullshit." So I got that from her, and I got the habit of reading the news from them. And then it just kind of grew from there.
Yeah, I will say I put you, Burr, Chappelle, and rest in peace, Greg Giraldo, who was one of my favorite comics, as the four best, able to take what's happening now and find the true hilarity in it, despite how dark or light it may be.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. And I mean, and it's no question to it. I mean, if you've been, making it a part of your routine since then, it's why you have such I always feel like when you're talking about something too that's current, that you actually, you have all the facts. Because when I started watching Giraldo, it was one of the first ones I started getting into that got me into comedy, and I would see him talk about certain stories. All right, he's at least presenting enough to where if somebody were to ask him during the show a question about it, that he could give an answer and not just have the bare minimum facts to write a joke about it, right? But I always feel like you know what's going on in it, and you can speak to it from so many different layers.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta read the news.
Yeah.
Can't
just soak up a headline and then write a joke and have.
Yeah, you gotta read.
Or
beyond.
Can you, Jay Leno? Yes.
No, you could do some of that, but you got to read beyond the headline, and you think about it or whatever. And I'll tell you who I learned a lot of it from, man, watching Louis Black. Because Lou would pick stories that people didn't know. Lou would talk about some congressman from Kansas said something, and what I learned from Lou was take the time to tell them what you're talking about. Like, if they don't know, tell them what the story is. Right. And the hard thing about that as a comic is now you got to talk for a minute without them laughing.
Right.
And you talk about Chappelle. What Chappelle did with the Emmett Till story, if you remember that one, that was in the Austin, that was amazing because he took 5 minutes to tell the entire story of Emmett Till, which anyone listening who doesn't know, 14-year-old kid from Chicago, goes to Mississippi, doesn't know the rules of Mississippi, right? Looks at a white woman, gets accused of whistling at the white woman. They beat him, destroyed his body, lynched him and everything. And his mother buried him with an open casket because she wanted people to see what they did to her son. It was a game changer in the civil rights movement.
Now
know?
Chappelle's manager is going to call you and say, Alonzo, you did Chappelle's joke on Adam's podcast.
No, because I'm not doing the joke.
No, I know.
But the fact that Dave went through all of that,
just to set it up,
and then to be able to do a joke about something so horrific, again, that's why he's operating on a different level. You know what I mean? He's George.
It's a fearlessness that I feel like is. But I feel like you got that. You're cut from that same cloth. But
I just got to figure out how they're filling the Forum in Madison Square Garden. See, that's the part. They let me in right up until then Burr and Chappelle said, yeah, we're going to go do the Forum and the Garden. And I'm like, oh, because I got the Chuckle Hut. I got the Amarillo Chuckle Hut, and first show Saturday sold out. So,
Man, they're papering the room at the Forum. They're
papering. Joe Coy didn't sell them out. Is there...
wouldn't that be hilarious to find that out? Like that Joe Coy rented the Forum and let everyone come free?
That would be fucking incredible, actually.
That would be, if some comic did that, that would be a hilarious movie.
What would we do? Would we just because there's no comedy police, there's no nobody really holds anyone truly kind of accountable.
Just lots of eye rolls in the green room. That's what that would be.
Yeah, people would talk about it maybe for a few weeks, and then
this next guy sold out the Forum.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, it would just become a story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would just become it would grow.
Yeah.
And eventually it would be a football stadium.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you enjoy those backstage green room comic? Because you're such a good hang, and it's even when I was in Vegas and I was over there and I hit you up and I was like, can I come hang you? Let me come kick at the show and watch you. And it was like
Steve Martin.
I'd like you to open with a reading from the beginning of the book, and we've edited this slightly to make it just a little shorter for the broadcast.
Great, be happy to. I did stand-up comedy for 18 years. 10 of those years were spent learning, 4 years were spent refining, and 4 years were spent in wild success. I was seeking comic originality, and fame fell on me as a byproduct. The course was more plodding than heroic. I did not strive valiantly against doubters, but took incremental steps studded with a few intuitive leaps. I was not naturally talented. I didn't sing, dance, or act, though working around that minor detail made me inventive. I was not self-destructive, though I almost destroyed myself. In the end, I turned away from stand-up with a tired swivel of my head and never looked back until now. A few years ago, I began researching and recalling the details of this crucial part of my professional life, which inevitably touches upon my personal life, and was reminded why I did stand-up and why I walked away. In a sense, this book is not an autobiography, but a biography, because I am writing about someone I used to know. Yes, these events are true, yet sometimes they seem to have happened to someone else, and I often felt like a curious onlooker or someone trying to remember a dream. I ignored my stand-up career for 25 years, but now, having finished this memoir, I view this time with surprising warmth. One can have, it turns out, an affection for the war years.
Thanks for reading that. That's Steve Martin reading from his memoir, Born Standing Up. I guess I didn't realize how much you'd closed the door on your comedy years, how much there was a before and after. It ended. You were done, and that was it.
Right. It was about 1981. I still had a few obligations left, but I knew that I could not continue. But I guess I could have continued if I had nothing to go to, but I did have something to go to, which was movies. And, the act had become so known that in order to go back, I would have had to create an entirely new show, and I wasn't up to it, especially when the opportunity for movies and writing movies came around.
Why would you have had to create an entirely new show?
Like I say, the act was really... there was a passage in the book which I cut because it was so hard to explain. But the act essentially, besides all the jokes and bits and everything, was conceptual. And once the concept was understood, there was nothing more to develop. It's like painting the same blank canvas over and over and over and over and over. Once the concept is known, you don't need to see two. And that was in the back of my head, that I was really done artistically with what I had created or pastiched.
Now, you got your start working in Disneyland. You were living in Southern California. And when you were 10, you were selling guidebooks there. Then you later worked for a magic shop demonstrating magic tricks. And I get the sense from your memoir that demonstrating those magic tricks, hours a day, and really getting them down because you were doing them so much, that gave you a sense that performance required a great deal of craft. That even comedy wasn't just a question of going out on stage and saying funny things, that there was enormous amounts of work and practice and thought that would have to go into it.
Well, that idea that you really had to work at this stuff didn't necessarily come from Disneyland. Yes, in terms of presenting a trick, but having it so well honed in your mind was really giving me a sense of security. It was, I don't want to go out there half-baked. And, you learn that through the years. You do a magic show with a friend, and you rehearse it a couple of times. And yes, all the timing has to be exactly perfect. But while you're out there, it's a different world. It's not your mirror. So you have to make on-the-spot adjustments. But that's just what every entertainer does. But I actually working at the magic shop really gave me a sense of comedy because it was all jokes. We did the tricks, but we had all these jokes. I had a friend, Jim Barlow, who, he was the guy I worked with there, but he had patter worked out. He would go up to customers and say, "May I take your money? I mean, help you?" and call them suckers. It was really funny and kind of friendly rude.
What was your patter?
Oh, I just took all of Jim's patter. I'm trying to think of other ones. I say somebody would buy something and would say, "And because you're our 100th customer today, you get a free paper bag." Little silly things like that. But at Disneyland, and I'm 15.
Right. Now, your early act was a combination of banjo playing, juggling, magic tricks, and comedy. And some of that stayed in your later act, too. But it sounds like a vaudeville act.
Yes, I was very interested in vaudeville. It was the only sort of discipline that was a 5-minute act on stage, which is what I really enjoyed and saw myself doing. And I bought books on it. I went to the Long Beach Pike, which was a carnival fair, it was really a place for drunken sailors to get tattoos. But there was also sideshows. I was very interested in that. There was these, and there were these short acts. There was one of the employees at Disneyland that I worked with was named Dave Stewart, and he worked in vaudeville. And he did his act for me one day on the floor of the magic shop, and I had a couple of great gags. One was that I actually used, and I asked him if I could use them because I was very strict about using any material that wasn't mine or that was taken from somebody else. Well, let's put it this way. I became strict. I wasn't strict at first. There was one joke that Dave Stewart did where he said, and now he had a white glove in his hand, a magician's glove, and he said, and now the glove into dove trick. And he threw it into the air, and then it hit the floor. And he just looked at it and said, for my next trick. And he went on. And it was the first time I saw comedy created out of nothing happening. And I glommed on to that.
But what you were doing, I think, is not only making comedy out of nothing, but making comedy out of people's expectations, which you were going to fail to fulfill.
Well, yes, exactly. And I really started that when I became a semi-professional, meaning I was working the local folk music clubs, going around either working for free or for a week. And I quickly decided that the material was, good or weak or whatever. But I decided whatever it was, I was going to pretend like it was fantastic. And how great am I? How great is what you're seeing? And I think that's what really the audience tuned into because they couldn't believe that someone actually was that confident.
With such weird, bad material, because some of the material was consciously not funny.
Right. Well, I had one bit that I opened with. I'd say, and now I would like to do the nose on microphone routine. And I would lean in and put my nose on the microphone and then stand and, hold my arms out like ta-da. And the laugh came not then, but when I said, and next, because nothing had happened. And, I found that you could laugh at something that happened 30 seconds ago now, only because you changed the subject. And at one point in my show, these are the local folk clubs around Orange County, I had trouble figuring out how to end. So I just dragged the ending out, walking through the audience. I started saying, good night. It was so great. Thank you so much. I have to leave. I'm sorry I have to leave. I have to beg off. And it went on for, 5 minutes. And eventually I could never end it. And I ended up taking the audience out into the street and walking around with them.
When you started in comedy, it was before the comedy club era, so you couldn't play the comedy clubs. There weren't any, but there were a lot of like folk music clubs. Did the fact that you had the banjo in the act give clubs the opportunity or the excuse to hire you, even though you weren't a conventional musician?
Well, looking back, I never thought of that, but I think the clubs would hire comedians. They were always the opening act, unless they were big names. But, I put the banjo in, I put the magic in to fill time because I didn't have enough comedy material, and all that just stayed. But I like to play the banjo, and it, like I say, it filled time, and eventually I worked out bits with it. I loved doing my surreal sing-along that had words that no one could follow.
Well, let's play an example of that, and this is the one, okay. Be courteous, kind, and forgiving. Before we hear it,
well, there's
tell
that
us
one.
about writing it, yeah.
Thank you, folks, for listening. Tune in next week for more podcasts of all podcasts.
Please donate if you can. Enjoy. Love you all. Dire Straits. Enjoy.
Shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie, double fall time. You feel alright when you hear the music ring. Well, now you step inside, but you don't see too many faces. Coming in out of the rain, they hear the jazz go down. Competition in other places, but the horns, they blowing that sound. Way on down south, way on down south, London town. You check out Guitar George, he knows all the chords. But it's strictly rhythm, he doesn't want to make it cry or sing. If then an old guitar is all he can afford, when he gets up under the lights to play his thing. And Harry doesn't mind if he doesn't make the scene. He's got a daytime job, he's doing alright. He can play the honky-tonk like anything, saving it up Friday night with the Sultans, with the Sultans of swing. And a crowd of young baggies in their platform soles. They don't give a damn about any trumpet playing band. It ain't what they call rock and roll. And the Sultans, yeah, the Sultans, they play Creole. Creole. Then the man he steps right up to the microphone and says at last, just as the time bell rings, good night, now it's time to go home. Then he makes it fast with one more thing. We are the Sultans. We are the Sultans.